Welcome to Calling All Ports, where we share our experiences as seasoned world travelers, yet still relative new to cruisers, and we aim to provide you with our honest and fair thoughts, opinions, and tips on premium luxury and ultra luxury cruising. So we're coming off of a little break over the holidays, and for this first video of 2024, we thought we'd share our cruise travel plans for the year ahead. And with it, some of what you can expect from Calling All Ports here in 2024. So let's quickly walk you through the cruises that we've got booked for 2024. And for each one, we'll talk a little bit about why we booked it and what we're most looking forward to with each trip. Going chronologically, our next cruise is?
It's Oceania Vista, which is in exactly 1 month. We're really excited to take this cruise, which is going to hit some new countries for us, Belize, Honduras, and the Caribbean side of Mexico. So we're really excited for this one. We've become pretty big Oceania fans since taking a cruise last June. We were on the Sirena for a Mediterranean jaunt, and we really love the vibe. So when we were able to take this cruise, which is on our spring break because we're both full-time college professors, we jumped at this opportunity.
Yeah, it's actually going to be our first cruise in quite a few months. We haven't cruised since the Thanksgiving break in November.
Yep.
Didn't manage to get one in during the winter break. So, yeah, being academics, we got to work with the school calendar, with the academic calendar, just like I'm sure a lot of you watching, if you've got kids or if you're yourself work in education. So yeah, we've got spring break in mid-March, and we're going to be in Oceania Vista. One of the things I'm looking forward to most, I think, is the ship itself, and just it's kind of very, I guess you'd describe it as, from what we've seen, kind of casually elegant design. And one of the things I'm really excited about is, so we've cruised with Regent Seven Seas. We've also now cruised with Norwegian on the Norwegian Encore. So we've in Oceania, Regent, Norwegian are all the same sort of family of ships. And one of the things that, Regent, we were on the Splendor. If you're watching this video, there's a chance that you've seen our Regent Seven Seas Splendor videos. And we love that ship. It's an amazing ship, really beautiful, great public spaces, great artwork and design. And I really see that carrying through into Oceania Vista. Like I don't know for certain that it's the same design team, but I'd have to think that at least some of the same design team worked on Oceania Vista that also worked on Regent's newest ships, the Explorer, Splendor, Grandeur, and actually even the mainstream Norwegian ships, you see a lot of the design elements carry through. So it was one of the things I really like about the Norwegian as a company, that there's a consistency between their ships. So I think Oceania, the Vista is going to kind of give you that kind of that really beautiful, elegant experience with great public spaces, great artwork around the ship, and yet a little more laid back than maybe Regent, which is maybe one of the things that we had a small knock with Regent. And of course, I think the other big highlight, and I'll let Diana talk about this one because she's the resident kind of food expert, is the food on Oceania.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to try out some of the new venues that are being introduced on Oceania Vista. Sadly, Oceania decided not to include the Jacques Pepin restaurant Jacques on this one, but there's Ember, which is their American comfort food classic restaurant. There's Red Ginger, the Asian restaurant, and then there's also the Aquamar Kitchen, which is now specializing in healthy eating for breakfast and lunch. And so this is a very plant-forward menu design, and I'm looking forward to trying that. Just, we are omnivores, but we tend to, eat a lot of vegetarian meals. So I think this will be a good option because Oceania does have the finest cuisine at sea. I'm going to attest to that, at least from the ships that we've sailed on. So this, I think, will be another wonderful option.
And we're going to be in concierge class on this cruise, which will be an interesting experience. Gets you access to the Aquamar Spa Terrace, which is also something that they seem to have really invested in heavily with Oceania Vista. Is this focus on wellness and on healthy living, and so we're not really usually big spa people. Not we're not like
We won't
against
pay
it,
for it.
but yeah, well, I guess we don't usually pay for the spa treatments, but yeah, it looks like going to be a real real sort of centerpiece of the ship. And then, of course, I mean, there's the itinerary itself we're looking
Yep.
forward to. It's a fairly standard Caribbean itinerary going to Mexico, obviously the Caribbean, the eastern coast of Mexico, Belize, Honduras. But we're going to hit a couple countries that we haven't been to. We haven't been to Belize. We haven't been to Honduras.
Yep.
And we're going to get to visit some Mayan ruins. I know that's one of the excursions that we have booked. So really looking forward to getting that break in mid-March.
Yeah, and the 2 sea days, which I think will be great for exploring the new ship.
Yeah. So after that, it's all about me.
Yeah,
right?
boo, boo.
I'm taking a sort of solo cruise, or at least I'm going solo. Diana's not going with me. I'm actually gonna go with my brother,
Twin brother,
on the Celebrity Ascent. So that's in mid-April. We're going to be doing a transatlantic crossing, repositioning cruise on the Celebrity Ascent from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, over to Barcelona, Spain. So that's going to be an interesting experience. We've cruised with family, but we've never, with other family members, but we've always been together. So it'll be the first cruise that I'll be without Diana. I was given permission to book the cruise, and then now I've heard nothing but grief ever since I booked it.
Not grief.
Well, yeah, you're wondering when you're solo.
I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. But I happen to have some extra time off this spring, so I wanted to take advantage to treat myself to a trip. And really, the main thing was that I've really been curious. We've really been curious about Celebrity. We've never cruised with Celebrity, particularly the Edge class ships. They look really beautiful, really kind of very 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 modern. And there was a great I found a great deal on the because it's a repositioning cruise, and I thought, what better chance to have a wonderful trip, but to get to go on a Celebrity ship, because they're really quite expensive.
Yes.
For what they are. So yeah, I'm going to be trying out the controversial Infinite Veranda stateroom. We'll see how that goes. It's a transatlantic cruise, which I've never done. And so that's going to be 13 nights with 9 sea days, 7 consecutive days for the initial crossing. I know a lot of people worry about, being bored on a transatlantic cruise, but not me, actually. I grew up on the water. I grew up sailing. I love to be out at sea. And so, a big part of cruising for me is being out in the open ocean. I, of course, love visiting new countries and going into ports, but actually, I'm actually really looking forward to all those sea days. I know that's not something that people seem to say a lot.
Nope.
But I might be a little unusual in that case. But I'm going to have a lot of fun. It's a big ship, so a lot of time to explore it, and we'll see what kind of videos I come up with when I'm hanging out on my own. But another, the food I think is going to be really interesting. It's another one thing that Celebrity is well known for. I'm mostly going to stick to the MDR. That they've got that set up with the 4 different main dining rooms, so it'll be interesting to explore those, as well as the Ocean View Cafe buffet. Looks really amazing from everything we've been told, everything we've heard, everything we've seen. But I am going to treat myself to one specialty restaurant, which is Les Voyages by Danielle Boulud. We've had the good opportunity to eat at Danielle in New York City and some of other Boulud's other restaurants. So really curious to check that out on the ship. I'm not gonna have an alcohol package, which is 2 weeks. Is a lot of time. But I'm actually, like we were talking about, trying to eat plant-based. We also have been increasingly playing around with NA cocktails and so the non-alcoholic drink package, mostly because my brother. So I'm going to be with my twin brother Peter, like Diana said, who, if you've watched our region videos, you might have peeked, my brother and niece in some of those videos. But he doesn't drink, so I went along with him. We're both going to just have the non-alcoholic drink package, but they include NA cocktails. There's a wide range of drinks, so it'll be, again, eager to see what they come up with. And I think one other thing. So the first stop when we get over across the Atlantic is going to be in the Canary Islands, and then it's also going to Madeira. And one excursion, there's not going to do a lot of excursions on this trip because there's only a few ports, but I'm really eager to try the wicker basket toboggan run in Madeira. So we'll see how that goes.
We will see. So after that, in May, we're going to hop on another cruise soon after, and we're going to take our first in a series of no-fly cruises from Montreal in this case. So we have a few no-fly cruises lined up this year. And the first one, we will be doing a Canada-New England cruise on Volendam, which is part of the Holland America fleet. It's the oldest in its line of ships, and we're big Holland America fans, so we jumped at the opportunity to take this cruise. It is much earlier in the year than most of these Canada-New England cruises generally run. It's sort of, opposite season from the Leaf Peepers.
Yeah.
But we're hitting a number of stops that we're really looking forward to. For me, Nova Scotia especially, Bar Harbor, Maine, and then just cruising the St. Lawrence, which is something that we haven't been able to do before. And although this isn't a river ship, it will get us to some of the spots that river cruising tends to visit. So another bonus for us for this cruise.
Yeah, we've never done an inland cruise in the U.S., so that'll be really interesting. And we both have grown up in New York and in the Northeast, and so it'll just be so it's not unfamiliar terrain. Like, we've been to Montreal before. It'll be actually really nice to go out of Montreal. We'll get to go to Quebec City, get to see upstate New York and Vermont, New Hampshire, New England. But from a different perspective, because we've never been on the river up there. So that's something that's really exciting. Also going to Bar Harbor, which they're one of those ports that's starting to restrict the number of ships that they're letting in. And I believe that you were looking at where we're one of the first ships, at least in this calendar year, that's going to be in a Bar Harbor. And actually, I'm going to get to check off. I've been to 47 of the U.S. states. I've never been to Hawaii, and then the Maine and Oklahoma are the only states I've never been to. And so oddly enough, growing up and living most of my life in the Northeast, just never quite made it up to Maine.
It's a 5-hour car ride, and we've never done it.
Yeah, I get to check it off the list. But looking forward to Bar Harbor. I know you're really looking forward to Nova Scotia. So some nice ports on that one. And I think the one other thing that we're eager to do on the Volendam when we're there in mid-May is the food, because they've got the, what do they call it, port to table?
Yes. Yeah, so they're going to focus on the local ports and bringing in the local foods from that area. Again, it's quite early in the season, but I'm sure there will be a lot of great seafood on offer.
Yeah. So we're going to break the chronology now for reasons that we'll explain in a minute. But the next cruise we want to talk about is in late June, the last week of June. We're going to be on the Cunard Queen Anne.
Yep, so this is the brand new Cunard ship that everyone seems to be talking about, and we're taking, I think, what is now the 4th voyage, part of their maiden season, and we will be visiting the Norwegian fjords on this one. It's a round trip sailing for us out of Southampton, 7 nights, and it's going to be great because we've been to Norway before, we've been to Oslo, but we've never sailed in the Norwegian fjords, so this will be a great opportunity to see another region that seems to be soon to restrict cruise ships, at least the not sustainable ones. So this will be a great time to see the beautiful sights of Norway, so we're really looking forward to it. And also trying Cunard, which is a brand new ship, brand new cruise line for us. We've never sailed on Cunard before, although we've been quite interested in it for a while now.
Yeah, it feels like for the types of cruises that we take and the kind of community that we're connected to, Cunard is a one that we really need to try. And we're Americans, but actually my father's English, and we have a lot of English relatives, and so the culture is quite familiar.
Yeah, my sister lives in Belfast, so it's...
Yeah, so I'm really actually looking forward to a little kind of the British flavor. And particularly, the afternoon tea looks amazing. Yes. I know there's all these experiences that we've yet to have not going on Cunard. I'm not so sure about the formal nights.
We haven't decided if we're doing that yet.
I haven't worn a tux or owned a tux in over 20 years.
And I don't dress up, so
yeah. So we might go casual those nights. Just eat some room service or some buffet. But yeah, very eager to have that experience and looking forward to also things like the planetarium.
That's on QM too.
Oh, that's on the QM too. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't.
And yeah, to that point.
Yep. So our sailing that we're going to talk about next is actually the sailing that comes before Queen Anne, is our Queen Mary II transatlantic crossing. So when we were planning the cruise and figuring out how we'd get to England, if we were going to visit, relatives beforehand, we kind of, well, I did. I stumbled upon the idea of maybe taking the transatlantic ocean liner sailing the week before, and the dates lined up perfectly. So we're going to leave 8 days before we get into Southampton. One morning, we get off the ship or the liner, and then we hop right on to Queen Anne too. And so Queen Mary too.
No.
Oh yes, Queen Anne. Can't keep it straight. Too many Cunard vessels. So we're going to hop off QM2, get onto Queen Anne after sailing from New York. So the Queen Mary II is great for us. It's a no-fly cruise out of the Manhattan Cruise Terminal. So it's really easy, and it just seemed like a no-brainer for us to do it. And for this one, the stars kind of align because Cunard is planning a big like London Theatre at Sea event for this sailing too. So I think they're bringing in some West End notable names, and they're going to have a lot of special programming for the sailing. So our first Cunard experience is actually going to be full of pomp and celebration. So
special guests on board.
Lots of special guests.
Yeah, complete accident because we booked it, purely based on the dates. Again, it was
convenience.
We were like, how are we going to get over? I just presumed we were going to fly, and then you looked it up, and there was this, QM2 transatlantic crossing. That'll get us in, like, literally, yeah. We arrive in Southampton on the QM2 in the morning, and we will leave from the same port that afternoon on Queen Anne to go to the Norwegian fjords. So it's going to be an experience. We'll obviously, going to be a lot of Cunard for us. Having never done Cunard, we're going to just get thrown right in with one of the, the classic ships, and then the brand new ship, which obviously everyone's really looking forward to.
Yep. So if you have any tips, drop a comment below. Let us know about the Cunard experience.
Definitely. And I'm sure we'll be doing some cross comparisons between the ships once we've completed those voyages. But yeah, really, really looking forward to, particularly I think with Queen Mary, again, never done a transatlantic. I'll have done one in April, and I'm going to do another one there in June. But different parts of the Atlantic.
Yep.
And we'll get to do the second one together. So that'll be really, I think, really cool, particularly with, Queen Mary 2 being, a traditional ocean liner. We really like that classic cruise experience. We love a good promenade deck. Yep. And I know we're going to get that on QM2 in particular. So that's something to look forward to.
Yep, indeed.
So our next
our next cruise is we're going back on Holland America on the Eurodam for a 7-night or 7-day trip to Alaska. So we're going to return to Alaska, which seems to be now an annual visit, which I have no complaints about because I love Alaska.
We were on Holland America Koningsdam this past May.
Yep.
And when we were on the ship, we said, hey, we could do this like every year. Why don't we? And I don't know that we were really committing to it, but then actually Holland America had one of those $1 deposit sales maybe just a couple weeks ago.
We jump on those.
Yeah, and those are always a great opportunity. And we were like, hey, look, this works. It works with our schedule. It's a decent price. So we're like, let's do that. So we'll see. This will be year 2 of our annual Alaska cruise. Yep. We'll see if it's a tradition. If we go, I guess if we make it 3, it'll be really be a tradition. But but different ship. So we're going to be on the Holland America Eurodam this time around. Actually very different itinerary than we had last year. But we took a Regent cruise to Alaska a number of years ago. And we're going to get to revisit some ports like Sitka. So we didn't go to Sitka last year, but we were in Sitka a handful of years ago. Yep. That was, I think, one of our favorite ports. Yeah, and so we get to go back. That'll be really cool. Get to do Glacier Bay, obviously, which is tremendous. And one of the great things about cruising with Holland America to Alaska is they get, they and Princess can have privileged access to Glacier Bay.
And Holland America lets you out on the bow, which is spectacular.
Do.
Yep.
And Icy Strait Point we've never been, so we get to go. We get to to be both familiar and new. So that'll be that's something we're really looking forward to. Again, in the sort of mid-August, second week of August. And then I think the one other thing with Holland America that we really appreciate is the food.
Yes.
And they have their global fresh fish program.
Yes. So they have a great partnership, which seems to be just emerging as the months go on, and they are making a conscious effort to get locally sourced seafood with a sustainable element in mind. So they're really coming a long way with their food, which, I mean, we've had some excellent dishes on Holland America. We love Holland America's food as a whole. So we're looking forward to seeing how this develops into a bigger program. And Holland America, if you're watching this, please bring Morimoto at Sea on the Eurodam by next August, please.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yep.
So following our August trip, we got a little bit of a break because again the school year starts out. Sad cry. No, we love teaching and we love our students. So, but we'll be back we won't be back cruising again until the Thanksgiving break.
Yep.
So actually another kind of tradition maybe that we're starting is taking a Thanksgiving cruise, and maybe, I don't know, we'll see if this continues to be taking a Thanksgiving cruise with Norwegian.
Yes, I think so.
This past year we went on Norwegian Encore over the Thanksgiving break, and again we mainly do smaller ships, small mid-sized ships, and kind of premium luxury, ultra luxury ships. That's kind of our thing. But we thought we would try some mainstream lines, and we tried Norwegian, and we actually really liked it. We were surprised. We really liked it quite a bit, particularly Norwegian. And so we are going to try out Prima. So we're going to take Norwegian Prima over Thanksgiving week. And it's round trip out of New York. So another no-fly cruise.
Yep, very convenient for us.
Yeah, and so that's why we chose it. It was like what cruises are leaving from New York that work with our schedule?
Yep.
And it was like, hey, we could do Prima, and we've really wanted to try that class of ship.
Absolutely. I mean, that's been on our radar for a while now, but again, schedules didn't align, prices, it didn't seem to be what we wanted to pay for Prima, but it all worked out for this one. And I'd say, the only bummer is that it's hitting one port, which is Bermuda. It's going to be docked in Bermuda for 3 nights, but that gives us more time to explore the ship. We won't have the pressure of, going to a bunch of new ports and feeling the need to get off and exploring these new destinations. So we'll have a lot of time to explore the ship. And sure, we'll get off in, Bermuda. That's not, we're going to do that, but we're going to have a lot of time to explore, especially the Indulge Food Hall, which I'm really looking forward to, and trying all of the vendors in the Indulge Food Hall.
Yeah, that seems to be a highlight. And also some especially restaurants like Cagney's. Yeah. We really love Cagney's on Encore
and Le Bistro,
and and the entertainment, so they have the Donna Summer musical on Prima, and they've also, we'll see if we again, we're not really big ship people, and all the family stuff with like the go-kart tracks and the water slides, and it's not like we don't know how to have fun, but that's usually generally not our thing, particularly when they're really crowded. But maybe they've got the drop slides, the drop and the rush, so maybe we'll give those a try.
We'll see how we're feeling.
And then also venues like Sid Norman's Poorhouse, and Norwegian is growing on us, I think.
Yeah, definitely one of our, or I'd say definitely our favorite big ship of the ones that we have taken so far.
So then, ending out the year, our how I can even count how many cruises that is now, but is going to be a new cruise line with a brand new ship, and that's Explora Journeys. So we're going to, right after our semester ends in December, right before the Christmas holiday, we're going to kind of squeeze in a trip on Explora Journeys, Explora 2. So we'll be on the brand new Explora Journey ship.
Yeah, I guess we're bookending our year with luxury and ultra luxury cruises, which is kind of our sweet spot. This, if you've not seen any footage of Explora 1, Explora 2 is going to be pretty much a carbon copy, and the ship looks absolutely gorgeous. I mean, luxury, but a younger luxury. Again, not as Well, it's more refined luxury, which I think is what I'm looking forward to seeing.
They're going really for like a boutique
Yeah,
hotel at
boutique
sea kind
hotel
of
at sea.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like an absolutely gorgeous space, gorgeous ship with some excellent spaces.
The food is like
The food looks
amazing.
phenomenal. So I think we're going to have a lot of good dining review guides for that one. Because we're going to try every restaurant on board.
Yeah.
There is one extra pay specialty, but I think with the Michelin accreditation or
Anthology,
links, anthology, we're going to, I think, spring for that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's so that cruise goes from Bridgetown, Barbados to Miami. And so it's going to be another Caribbean cruise, but hitting a lot more of the smaller islands. That's one of the nice things about a small ship like Explora Journeys, is that they focus on going kind of to a little more off the beaten track kind of ports. So it'll be really we're going to hit a bunch of places that we've never been before. We've never been to Barbados, where we're starting out. And yeah, it was one of those, frankly, to be totally honest, it was also that we just got a great deal. It was one of those things where, again, we were looking for particular dates and we were obviously curious about Explora Journeys, and we found a price that was like almost like one of those things where you had to do a double take. We're like, wait, what? That's it. And so, I'm not going to say exactly how much, but it was a really good deal. And actually so much so that while this is actually January of 2025, so jumping ahead a little bit, we're going to be going on Explora Journeys again in mid-January on Explorer 1, doing another Caribbean cruise, but this time from Miami to San Juan, so hitting totally different ports. And that's because while we were looking up the first trip, the December trip on Explorer 2, we also came across this Explorer 1 that was also an equally great bargain, to the point where we just had our travel agent, Diana, sent it to our travel agent and had her kind of price it out, and she put a hold on it. And I like a day or two later, I was like, I don't really think we want to take that Explora 1 trip in January, because it'll just be like, we'll have just been on Explorer 2. And I was kind of being wishy-washy about it. And our travel agent was just like, no, don't do that.
Don't do that. That would be a bad decision.
She's like, she'd never seen a price like that, it was such a good deal that, we were kind of, we would have been foolish to give it up. So we're doing both.
Yep.
So, we'll get to do some, comparison videos, and, I don't think we're going to regret it based on
not at all.
Everything that we've seen and read about the Explora Journeys. It looks like it's going to be a really great experience. And which, by the way, I'll just kind of end on the point there that, we're doing all different types of cruises this year at different price points. And I think a lot of people think like the luxury and ultra luxury is out of reach for them, because they can obviously be really expensive, and they are not inexpensive. I'm not going to say that, but a lot of the mainstream lines, particularly now with everything being so crowded, they're selling at a premium. They're quite expensive, and particularly when you get into like all the ship within a ship, stuff and all the upcharges. So if you really do the math, you can, particularly if you're looking at maybe some off peak times, for one reason or another, certain cruises can be a little bit cheaper than others. Something like Explora Journeys, we managed to get for a price that's pretty much, at least, if you do the cost per night.
Yep. Well, the actual 7-night cruise price is less than the base fare for many of the cruises that we're taking in 2024. So we're getting an all-inclusive luxury cruise for less than many of the cruises we're taking this year on premium and mainstream lines. So
we just say, just to point out, we book all our own cruises, we pay for all our own cruises. We're just average cruisers, travelers, and we're always looking for a good bargain. And so, it's just doing your homework. We spend a lot of time looking things up and playing around with dates, and just like with flights and all that, it's always just, you get rewarded often if you do that homework. So, anyway, that's our plan for 2024. Again, I think it'll also give you a good idea of some of the content that you can expect to see coming out on the channel. And by the way, so if you've made it this far, you're probably a regular viewer of Calling All Ports, and we sincerely thank you for that. If you are not a subscriber already, please do consider hitting subscribe. And you'll get the videos that we're talking about in some time. But again, we had a bit of a busy fall and end of 2023. you know, things were a little quiet here on Calling All Ports here on YouTube. You know, we generally would prefer to deliver, you know, quality over quantity. So, you know, we've got busy lives. You know, we're not one of the lucky few that get to do this YouTube thing full time. But you know, so we've got work and families and all that kind of stuff. But I do actually happen to have a little bit of time on my hand because I'm on sabbatical for the spring. So really, we're going to get these videos rolling out much more regularly over the next few months and really hopefully through the rest of the year. So please do stay tuned. You know, we'll be giving, you know, weekly videos. And again, please consider subscribing. Yes. Hit that notifications bell so you get alerts for the new videos. And until then,
we'll be seeing you.